Wait, what is this? What unfolded before me was a completely unfamiliar scene. The living room was filled with unrecognized furniture, and my workspace was overflowing with my in-laws' belongings. I barely managed to squeeze out a few words, but my husband grinned and said,
"Mom and Dad are going to live here too. You're okay with that, right?"
Do you hear yourself right now? This is my house too, you know.
But it's also mine. You can leave if you don't like the idea.
My husband said that and held out the filled-out divorce papers to me. Behind him, my in-laws are smiling smugly. My anger had already reached its peak. Well, if that's what you want, I've got an idea. I'll do whatever it takes to put you through hell. I took the divorce papers and immediately started packing my bags. Then, as I smiled, I walked out of the house. My name is Madison Brown, 29 years old. I work for a major beverage company. I have been married to my husband Trevor for almost 2 years. We've only dated for a year, but we've managed to have a good marriage. The only problem is that my husband has a hard time separating from his parents. It is not a bad thing to care for one's parents, but in my husband's case, it is a bit excessive. After we got married, my husband suggested that my in-laws come to our house on a regular basis. If they informed us in advance, it's fine, but sometimes they come to our house without any notice. Of course, I couldn't even prepare tea or snacks with no notice. Then my in-laws would say to me,
"What? You can't even offer us tea when you know we've come all the way here?"
"Right. I usually have something stocked up to serve at times like this." "I'm sorry. I didn't know you two were coming."
Is giving excuses what all young wives can do these days?
"When I got married, I'd have been scolded for anything like this. It's a good time to be alive, isn't it?" Yeah. I don't get scolded for it, but I do get sarcastic comments like this. I hated my in-laws for their insidious bullying, but the biggest problem was that my husband didn't say anything. My husband Trevor seems to think that his parents are right about everything, and no matter how many times they make sarcastic comments to me, he never defends me. He didn't talk back or even intervene. After 6 months of marriage, I felt that I had reached my limit, so I decided to have a discussion with my husband. "Hey, why do you keep silent when your parents are making sarcastic comments towards me?"
"What? Sarcasm? When did that happen?"
"All the time. They're always being sarcastic."
"Really? I've never noticed it."
It was so obvious. Even a dullard would know it's sarcasm. Is he playing dumb, or does he really not think it's sarcasm? But it's true that it's not even an issue in my husband's mind. I explained it to my husband to make him aware of it. What your parents are always saying to me is definitely sarcasm. So please, Trevor, say something.
I don't know what to say, though. Mom and Dad are saying that because they care about you, Madison.
What? What are you talking about?
They want you to be a good wife. Isn't that a good thing?
At that moment, I realized that this person will never understand me. I thought about divorce many times during this period. But when we are together, he is usually a good husband, so I can't hate him so easily. And so I'm still with my husband. I told myself that I would cherish the time alone with my husband and not worry about my in-laws. The only time I have to put up with them is when they visit. If I could just put up with that time, I could enjoy the rest of the time with my husband. That alone was enough to make me happy. Besides, my husband and I have a big pleasure waiting for us. We were going to buy a new house. At first, we were going to rent a house, but when I told my father about it, he said happily,
I see. Then I will help you.
What? Help?
Madison, you didn't even have a wedding. I saved up for it, but ended up not using it. I've got about $150,000 saved up for you.
$150,000? That's a lot more than I'd imagined, so I couldn't help but raise my voice in surprise. Apparently, my father had been saving up for me for a long time. Since I had excellent grades, I was exempted from paying full tuition for my university. I was able to get another scholarship, so I had almost no money to pay for it. That night, I talked to my husband about this. Hey, Trevor, I was wondering about moving to our new place. Why don't we buy a house? He widened his eyes at my suggestion. I then told him about my conversation with my father, as he probably didn't understand what was going on. I told my father about the move, and he said he has some money saved up for me. He said he has $150,000.
What? No way.
They didn't have to pay for university, and we didn't have a wedding either. So he wants to help me out.
Seriously, that's great. Let's take up on his offer then.
Yeah, I agree. I think we should buy when we can for when we have kids.
That's right. Then let's go to some viewings soon.
And so we decided to buy instead of rent a house. We made an appointment at the end of the month to go and look at some places we were interested in, but I hadn't realized yet. I had no idea that such a pitfall was waiting for us behind this happiness. On the day of the viewing, when I went to the meetup place, there was already somebody waiting for me. I thought it might be someone who had reserved a viewing of the same house, but to my surprise, there they were, my in-laws. Why are you... They glared at me and immediately opened their mouths.
Hey, you're late.
Madison, he must have overslept. No, actually, Trevor was the one who overslept.
You're blaming my son like that? You really are a despicable wife.
Yes, she is. There's no way Trevor overslept. You're the one who took the time to get ready. Such a mean wife. No, it was... My husband stopped me before I could explain to them. My husband calling out, "Let's go," changes my in-laws' scary faces into big smiles. The tour began as if I was the only outsider. At first, I wanted to leave as soon as possible, but when I actually saw the place, I found it so nice that I didn't care about my in-laws' presence anymore. We looked around 3 places that day, but I couldn't put any of them down. My ideal open kitchen, spacious living, and dining room. There are enough rooms to make a workspace and a child's room, so I have nothing to complain about. My in-laws complain about not having a sunroom or having too many steps, but I don't care about their ideals. What we're looking for now is a place for my husband and I to live together. My in-laws followed us to the end, but the decision is up to my husband and me. And since my father is willing to help, I should have some say in the decision. That night, I took out my pent-up frustration on my husband. Hey, about today, I didn't hear your parents were coming.
Oh, I'm sorry. I told them we were going to some viewings, and they said they wanted to come.
Isn't it strange that you let them come without asking me? We were a little late, and they blamed me for it.
I said I was sorry, but the places we saw today were really nice.
Well, that's true, but it seemed that my husband liked the properties we looked at today. In the end, the conversation about my in-laws was put to rest, and we started contemplating on our house. A month later, after much consideration, we decided to buy one of them. We decided on a place with plenty of room so that we would have enough room for a child. At first, we were thinking of putting the house under joint ownership, but when we talked to the person in charge, he told us that joint ownership often causes problems later on with inheritance. When we think about having more than one child in the future, it would be troublesome to have the property under joint ownership. So, I talked to my husband about it. He grumpily said,
I don't care what name is on the property, just hurry up and finish the purchase. I don't care if it's in my name.
Don't be so uninterested. It's a lot of money and I want to think this through.
Well, I want to move as soon as possible. Why do we have to spend so much time on the name when we've already decided on a place?
Did you hear what I said earlier? There are all kinds of disadvantages to joint ownership.
Man, you're being so persistent. You can decide that on your own, so let's just get the move over with.
What? There's no point in discussing this any further. I decided to buy the place in my name and ended the conversation at that. If he says anything, we can just change the name to my husband's then. Besides, it's my father's money, so I thought it would be safer to put it in my name for the time being. The purchase was completed without incident, and the loan application was approved. I decided to throw away all the old appliances and replace them with new ones. After about a week of living in the house, I finally started to feel like I had moved. I was looking forward to redecorating the interior to my liking. A few days later, after 7 p.m., when I came home from work, I heard some lively voices in the living room. Was it my in-laws? I checked the entrance to see my in-laws' shoes. I let out a small sigh, but I couldn't just stay in the doorway. Reluctantly, I headed for the living room and couldn't believe my eyes. Wait, what is this? What unfolded before me was a completely unfamiliar scene. The living room was filled with unrecognized furniture, not even close to my style. I had a bad feeling about this, and I went to my workspace. It was filled with my in-laws' belongings. The work desk and chair were covered with my mother-in-law's favorite tablecloths and cushions, no longer the simple design that I prefer. The contents of the closet were strewn on the floor, wrinkled. Oh my God, what have you done? I barely managed to squeeze the words out of my mouth.
Mom and Dad are going to live here from today.
Huh? I don't understand. It's terrible of you to mess up my room like this.
I don't have a choice. Your room is now Mom's room, and the room you called the child's room is now Dad's room.
Do you hear yourself right now? This is my house too, you know.
But it's also mine.
But that doesn't mean that... My body trembles with anger at my husband's selfishness. I tried my best to calm down, but my husband adds fuel to the fire.
If you don't like the idea, you can leave. You're the one who's going to be in trouble.
My husband said that and held out the filled-out divorce papers to me. Behind him, my in-laws are smiling smugly. My anger had already reached its peak. Well, if that's what you want, I've got an idea. I'll go whatever it takes to put you through hell. Are you sure you want me to leave? My husband responded to my question with a triumphant look on his face.
Oh, of course. But if you leave, make sure you don't come back, okay?
Really? I'm glad to hear that.
What?
Then I'll take this. I picked up the divorce papers and immediately started packing my things. Then, trying hard not to smile, I walked out of the house. I went straight to the Superior Court and filed the divorce papers. After that, I decided to go back to my parents' house for the time being. My parents were quite surprised to see me suddenly come home late at night. My father asked what had happened, so I told him the whole story. My father became very angry and was about to storm out, so I stopped him and told him about my plan. What do you think?
That sounds like a good plan. They deserve that.
Right? I'll go see the man in charge tomorrow.
I'll go with you.
The next day, my father and I took action to complete some procedures and went back to my parents' house. A few weeks later, I was thinking it was about time, and sure enough, I received a call from my ex-husband, Trevor. I didn't dare to answer it, but my phone rang incessantly. I ignored it and let him lose contact with me, which was the most I could do. After a few days of this, the intercom rang at my parents' house as if he had grown tired of it. When I opened the front door, there stood my ex-husband and in-laws.
Hey, what's going on?
Trevor said, and I dared to ask about what, and I egged them on. Then Trevor grabbed me by the chest and started yelling at me.
You did something to me, didn't you? We were just living normally, but suddenly we got an eviction order.
Of course, because that house is in my name.
So? There are plenty of people living in houses in other people's names.
Behind him, my in-laws were nodding to agree. I was so pissed off that I clarified the fact right then and there. What's the point of being the owner if I don't live there? So I sold the place as soon as I left. By the way, I've already filed for divorce too.
Huh? You sold it? And the divorce as well?
You're the one that forced them onto me. And I'm not so good-natured as to let a stranger live in a house that's in my name.
You've got to be kidding me. Mom and Dad moved in after they tore down their house. So if you sell that house, we'll have nowhere to live.
I don't care. Why don't you rent somewhere else as their son?
You know I don't make that much money.
Indeed, Trevor makes less than half of what I make. His monthly salary is less than $1,300, so he can't possibly support his parents. Perhaps because he understands this, he is trying his best to resist, but I don't have time for this farce. I raised my voice as if to vent my frustration. I don't care how much money you make. Do you have any idea why things turned out like this? It's all your fault. My father is the one who helped us. Why should I have to live with people like you?
Hey, Madison, calm down.
Shut up. I'm sick and tired of my in-laws' insidious bullying and my idiot husband's pretending not to see it. I don't even want to see you. If you understand me, don't ever get involved with me again. If you ever appear in front of me, I will seriously call the police. The word police must have scared them because they turned pale and ran away right after. With that, they never came to visit my parents' house again. Later, I heard that now my ex-husband was blamed by his parents. They complained about everything being his fault and to call back his wife. The three of them are still living together in a strained relationship. In the end, they could not live on solely my ex-husband's income, so they had to use his parents' pension for living expenses. Until now, they had been able to live in their own house, but now they are on the verge of taking on debt. I, on the other hand, moved into a luxury apartment near my office. I sold my old house, so I lost some money, but thanks to my father's support, I am still able to live in a nice apartment. Marriage is not the only happiness. That's what I think now. I want to cherish the life that makes me happy and put myself first from now on.